Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale. On this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I'm going to show you how to make panna cotta. Panna cotta is a very classic Italian dessert that has been requested quite a bit lately, so I'm really excited to show you this recipe. Perfect for Valentine's Day. And I'm going to make a lovely, smooth strawberry sauce to pour over the top. It's just delicious. But for now, let's go over the ingredients to get started. You're going to need some half and half, some heavy cream, some sugar, tiny bit of lemon peel, water, unflavored gelatin, vanilla extract. And those are your ingredients for the panna cotta part. The strawberry sauce is going to come a little bit later on. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of questions if you can substitute the half and half or the heavy cream, and truthfully, you really cannot. I have never made this recipe without half and half or heavy cream because panna cotta is really a cooked cream and you need that richness. If you substitute milk, it won't turn out. I mean, you need the richness and the thickness of heavy cream and half. So if you can't get those two ingredients, then I'm really sorry, but it will not work with milk and I don't want you to waste your time. So, a little heads up. So this is going to be super easy. Now, first thing we're going to work on is the gelatin, and you need unflavored gelatin for this. You cannot have flavored gelatin. It needs to be unflavored because otherwise it'll penetrate, the flavor of your dish. You don't want to do that. But this is a crucial ingredient. If you don't have it, it won't set. So there you go. And I'm going to sprinkle this over some cold water. There we go. And I'm going to leave that aside literally for just a couple minutes until the gelatin softens. So, bye-bye. Now, in this little teeny tiny saucepan, I'm going to put in my heavy cream, my half and half, my sugar, and lemon peel. And this is just the rind of lemon, very small amount, not a whole lot at all. But that's going to go right in, putting the heat on medium. And what I'm going to do is cook this until the mixture of the cream and heavy cream, the cream and half is right at simmering point. You don't want this to boil. You want it to be right at the simmering point. Our cream mixture is perfect. You can see it's simmering because right around the sides you get these little teeny tiny bubbles. And I'm going to just turn it off. Very important. Now I'm going to add in my softened gelatin, and it's really soft. It's got a really funky texture at this point, but that's what's going to help it set. So, add that. And my vanilla extract off the heat. That's good. You can also use a vanilla bean if you have it. Would scrape out the seeds first. I don't have one. They're really difficult to find in my supermarket, so I always use vanilla extract. So I'm just going to stir this around for about a minute. I know it sounds ridiculous, but you want to just mix in that gelatin really well. That looks perfect. Okay, now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to strain this through a fine sieve, just because if there's any pieces of gelatin that haven't melted or some of your cream has curdled, it doesn't get into your final dish, right? So now you're going to take a couple ramekins, and the amount of this makes enough for 4 people if you're using like 6-ounce ramekins. These are a bit bigger than that, so I'll be able to get 2 to 3 using these big ramekins. But it's going to be so good. There you go. Yeah. Let's just fill them up. How about that? Now all we're going to do is cover these tightly with some plastic wrap because these are going to go into the fridge overnight. So important that these go into the fridge for 8 hours at least to overnight because they need a lot of time to set. So if you're making these for Valentine's Day or any event, make sure you do it the day before because they won't set in a couple of hours. But it's really great because, having the kind of desserts that you can make way ahead of time is pretty fantastic. It's one less thing to do the day of, These are just going to go in, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. My panna cotta has been in the fridge overnight, and before we take that out, we're going to make the strawberry sauce. Now, the ingredients for it are super simple. All you're going to need are some frozen but thawed strawberries, a little bit of water, some cornstarch, a little tiny bit of sugar, and some lemon. Now, I like to use the frozen strawberries for this because I think it makes a much more jammy-like sauce. But if you want fresh berries, if you have fresh berries, then use that. And you can also use this with raspberries if you don't have strawberries. But I like the strawberries, so that's why I'm using that. So this is how easy this is. I'm going to take my berries, in the juice and everything, I'm going to put that right into the blender, along with a tiny bit of sugar, or to taste. I mean, it really depends on how sweet your berries are. A squeeze of lemon minus any of the pith. There we go. And then all I'm going to do is blend this up and puree it, which should only take less than a minute. That looks good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to strain this through a fine sieve right into my saucepan. And because it's such a fine sieve, it's going to take a few minutes to get through, but it's really, really worth it because you just get a super smooth, oh, look at that. It's going to be super smooth and really delicious. So just take the time, get a wooden spoon to help you or a spatula, and just do this until it's all through. There goes the last of my sauce. See all those seeds and stuff? You don't want that into your sauce. You want it to be completely smooth, and that is perfect. So all I'm going to do now is turn this to medium, and I'm going to bring this up to a simmer. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my water and cornstarch, and I'm going to make like a slurry. I'm going to mix these two together so that way I'm not going to add the cornstarch directly to my strawberry puree. Otherwise, it's going to clump up. So that's smooth and perfect. Let that come up to a simmer, and then we'll finish it. My puree is up to a simmer, so now I'm going to add in my cornstarch mixture, and all I'm going to do is continuously whisk this for a few minutes or until the puree thickens. When it's just like thickened to the point where it's almost like a heavy cream consistency, we're going to put it in a bowl and let it cool. That looks perfect. It's nice and thick. I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to pour it in a bowl. See? Got a really lovely thick consistency. Now I'm going to let this cool completely, and as it cools it will thicken. So let it cool. It's going to take about a half hour or so, or until however long it takes to cool is what I'm trying to say without spilling this little pan. But anyway, I'm going to set it aside, let it cool, clean up, and then we'll finish it. Now that our sauce is completely cooled, it's time to serve. Now, I'm just going to serve one right now, and you're going to take your panna cotta out of the fridge that was in there overnight. You're going to take a little paring knife like this, and you're going to run this right around the edges of the ramekin, just like that. And then what you're going to do is put this in a little bit of hot water for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 9, 10. Perfect. So then you take your plate. You just flip it over like so. You give it a good tap. And then it should wiggle out. And if you need help, just use your knife. There we go. And there is your panna cotta. Now what I do, first of all, I like this to be centered a bit more. So you move it like so. And then instead of drizzling the sauce over the top, I like to spoon it all around. But you can do this however your heart desires. Just like that. And then you take a strawberry, because I like people to know that the sauce is made from strawberries. You fan it. Put this at the edge of your plate, or you can put it on top. And then just finish it with a sprig of mint. And that is panna cotta. It's simple. Well, it takes a little bit of time, but you're not really doing anything. It's in the fridge overnight. And now it's time to dig in. I'm going to take a piece from the bottom so I don't disturb how beautiful it is. It's like melt in your mouth deliciousness. It's rich, it's creamy, it's slightly tart from the sauce. It's a wonderful balance of richness and a little brightness coming in there from the sauce. It's beautiful and everybody loves it. In any Italian household, there's a recipe for it somewhere. So I hope you've enjoyed spending time with me. The recipe for it, you know where it is, www.laureninthekitchen.com. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.